Okay, if I can have your attention, please. We're going to roll into our race winner of today's 42nd annual AAA 400. And the winning team today was the number 22 of Shell Pennzoil Dodge with Kurt Busch behind the wheel, Steve Addington up in the pit box, and Penske Racing is the team owner. But congratulations to Kurt Busch. It's his second win in 2011. He won earlier this year at Infineon. And this is his 24th career NASCAR Sprint Cup Series victory. And Kurt moves up to fourth in points. You're only 9 out of the lead. This thing has really gotten tight. It's only like 15 points separates first and eighth. Your little brother's in eighth place at 15 out. But congratulations. Boy, that second half of that race looks like that car just took on a new life. And you got that lead on that last restart, and you were off to the races. Congratulations, and tell us about that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a great race today for us with our Shell Pennzoil Dodge to, just miss out on the pole. It was kind of a bummer, but to take the lead early on and to lead laps and to set the tone, we've been in that position before where we can lead early on, and the car feels great with fresh racetrack. And then as the race progresses, we start losing a little bit of the handle, but today we fought hard, found some things, and I got to thank the guy to my left, Steve Addington, for the right changes, the right time, the right sequence of 2 tires versus 4. He was in the zone today. It helped me stay in the zone out on the racetrack. And when you can feed off each other, that's when wins can happen. And it reminded me a lot of what we did at Sonoma earlier this year. Late in the race today, the last 100 laps, our car was right there for us, right where we needed it to be, maybe a little on the tight side, but restarts, with 2 restarts to go, I was on the outside of the 48 car. We had a great position from pit road. My guys on pit road did a phenomenal job to be consistent, to be smooth, and to put us out there where we needed to be. And I was able to wrestle the lead away from the 48 car, got to his high side and took the lead. And then with the final pit stop, Steve was thinking 4, I was thinking 4, but we switched to 2 tires, and that was the perfect call. And we beat Johnson out of the pits, had the inside lane on the final restart, and we just took it to him. I knew we needed to get that jump on the restart, and we never looked back. So a great day for our Shell Pennzoil Dodge. Wednesday. Now it's called Wednesdays. Everybody gets 22 cents a gallon off on fuel if they have a Shell Saver card. So a great win for us today.
Terrific. This is your first win at Dover as well, too. Kurt, just talk about a special win here at the Monster Mile, winning at a track like this.
Well, it's such an intense place. It's hard to really get the perfect handle on the race car. A driver really has to compensate quite a bit here, especially with the racetrack rubbering in. But to be able to conquer the Monster Mile, to have that Miles trophy now on the trophy shelf, I felt like I was missing something over the years. And to make my first start here 10 years ago, or 11 years ago in 2000, it's been an amazing journey. I didn't think it would take this long to get to victory lane, especially when I won my first ever truck race here. But this is a tough racetrack, and when you're racing the best of the best, you have to be perfect. You have to have a good team. And I just got to thank Penske Racing for continuing to provide us with the top quality cars it takes.
And Steve Addington, congratulations today on this win. Certainly a team win. Pit crew was exceptional, and as Kurt alluded to, you guys made the right calls at the right time. Talk about how that all just unfolded here today for you.
Well, I feel like his from the past races with him here. Turn it on. How about now?
Yeah, it's good.
You got it? Well, I felt like watching Kurt over the years here, he's been really fast, and I felt pretty good going in here. The way that we went through practice and the adjustments we made from practice to qualifying and go out and qualify second, I mean, so close to the pole, and then to make the adjustments to go into the race that we did, I felt like that we learned a lot from practice this week, and that was the big key. But to know he could come in here and win at Dover, that was just us giving him a piece to do it.
Okay, we'll take questions now for Kurt or Steve. If you have one, raise your hand. We'll start there with Don, then we'll go to Joe. Go ahead.
It's Don Culbo with Morris News Servers. Kurt, were those last 2 restarts, how much of your drag racing, I mean, because your reaction time was so good and you just pulled away from him so quickly, and it was the difference. How much did you kind of rely on your instincts that you've picked up through your drag racing?
You know, the drag racing is a lot of fun, and there's a lot of technique in what you have to do to get your tires warm and to feel the traction when you're coming up through the gears. And it's important. I love racing, no matter what it is. And the way that you can get an advantage on guys on restarts is to feel the rear traction. And if it's slipping, to not be full throttle and to really baby that throttle pedal perfectly. And I felt like that was the difference maker today. I was able to wrestle the lead away from Johnson on the outside, and then on the final restart, when we had the inside lane, pull away off of a great launch right out of the hole. So Pro Stock Racing, I got to thank all those guys for having fun and doing that, but it's all a matter of how the setup is for your oval car, but you got to get that throttle pedal just right on restarts, and I've always tried to pride myself in trying to get good restarts and not lose spots.
Go ahead, Joe.
Joe Madser, NASCAR.com. Could you guys just talk a little bit about, you mentioned making the changes, especially at this place, how difficult that is to make the changes during the race, to make the correct ones. Other teams, obviously, like Stewart, couldn't do it.
Yeah, for us, we almost had a perfect weekend with the pole position on Saturday. We just missed it by 0.003 of a second. And the way that we were communicating in our team debrief sessions, we knew we were close. We knew we just needed to fine-tune a couple things, and whether it was qualifying trim and whether it was race trim. And the car just had a good feel all weekend long. So last week, just working out those new car blues, and it bit us. This week, solid car.
Yeah, the biggest thing was he was giving great feedback, and we were just trying to figure out how to get our car going. I mean, it would take our car a good 10, 15 laps to even settle in to where we thought we needed it to be. And we just started making some adjustments on it and brought it to life earlier in the runs, and that was the big key to it. It was just getting on top of that and finding a direction. It was probably halfway through the race when we really got a hold of what direction we needed, and we got the breaks of getting stops to make those adjustments.
Let's go up to the press box for some questions, and we'll come back downstairs. Go ahead, press box for questions for Kurt or Steve.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Kurt, congratulations, first of all. And second, given the fact that you got around Jimmy on the outside on the next to last restart, what were the criteria that went into your decision to take the bottom for the last one?
Did you hear that, Kurt?
I did. Thank you, Reed. The way that today went, I felt like the bottom lane was the preferred lane, and you really had to hit it perfect on that top side. So I was just going with the percentages. I thought the bottom lane had the best chance of winning the race down into turn one and clearing coming off turn two. So I'm glad I surprised Johnson by getting the lead on the outside, and then I chose the inside to what I thought was the preferred line. So it was great that we were able to jump him on both restarts and pull away. I mean, to beat your arch nemesis, that's just icing on the cake, and it's pretty sweet.
Go ahead, press box. Another question. Go ahead.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Congratulations to both of you. I was going to ask you about the rubber. A lot of people had trouble with the rubber on the track. Is this something new that we haven't seen before? Because there were a lot of complaints.
Yeah, hang on a second. Gary, we can't hear. Can you speak up, Lee?
Sure.
Go ahead.
It's really loud up here, though. A lot of people were complaining about the rubber on the track and about how it made the car seem, I guess, squirrely. Is this something that's never happened before? And, is this a new sensation? And secondly, after, getting your car detained last week, do you feel a little bit of vindication getting to victory lane today?
This tire with this car, the car of tomorrow, we've had to go through a lot of changes at Goodyear. I can make this story long. I can make it short. What Goodyear has to do is they have to have a tire that rubbers in the racetrack so that we don't have blowouts with the right front tire. Concrete tracks have this rubber buildup, like Martinsville, Bristol, here at Dover, where it cakes up and makes it really squirrely. Could have been a lot worse today if the temperatures were in the 80s and the sunshine was out. It somewhat covered it today. But Goodyear has done a great job, but they keep bringing this tire that rubbers in the racetracks so that the tires don't have their issues. And that's really the bottom line. And I felt like we battled through it the best today. And it's not anything new, but today it shows up if your car isn't exactly perfect. And I just got to thank Steve for helping me stay on top of the adjustments. And for us to win this weekend, last week. We don't need to worry about it. We knew we had problems with the car, with trying to scale it, trying to measure it, trying to get the bump stops right. It just wouldn't do anything for us. So I wouldn't be surprised if that car's not cut in half already, because we got a victory car today, and it would be great to see this car run again in the chase for us.